We could go ahead and go onto the Habitrail. Okay, what is this?
Why have a Habitrail? The Habitrail is a place for you to think about all of the things that your body does as you go through it. There are places to climb and crawl and slide and walk, and it was inspired by a Habitrail like gerbils and hamsters live in. We had a third grader who said there ought to be a place like that for kids too, so we built one. And I think the first thing we're going to start with is the Habitube, which is, well, we'll see it when we get over there, okay?
Okay. What is this?
This is called the Habitube. And while you're going through this, I want you to think about all of the different things that your body is doing. They're going into circles that get smaller and smaller and smaller as they get inside the tube there. And some of it is sort of tough going. There are all sorts of different kinds of shapes in there. Might be easier for a gerbil or a mouse or something, do you think? Looks like they're being lost in caves. Now, halfway through, they changed from circle to all sorts of different kinds of crosses. And if you don't think that's hard, you should go on in and try it.
Get moving. Boy, tight squeeze.
What is this thing here?
Okay, we had a chance to crawl before in the Habitube, and now we're crawling through an ant wall. And this was patterned after an ant farm, where they take all sorts of little teeny tiny ants and put them in sand in between two plates of glass. So this is a place, I think they're finding it pretty difficult to find places in there that they can stand up, unless of course they're at the very top. Most of it is crawling.
You can't just crawl up to the top though.
Yeah, you can't go straight up, can you? It's sort of almost like a maze trying to get up there, isn't it? Wonder if ants do that.
I don't know. Probably not.
This is an area in the museum that people can pretend to be different kinds of animals if they want to. All sorts of things live down in burrows in the ground, and it's neat to pretend to be snakes or worms or spiders or ants or any number of things in here.
Did you get this idea from another third grader?
Yeah, actually all of the ideas in the Habitrail came from a third grader who said that we should have places where animals live that people could also do things. And then we gave it to a bunch of architecture students who said, well, what about these things? So that's how the specifics came.
I wonder if the third grader would like to live in a cage and not get out.
I don't know, that's an interesting thought. Wonder if you'd like to live on sunflower seeds too.
No. What is this?
Well, still keeping in mind all of the different things your bodies can do. We have things to walk over, and ramps and stairs to slide up and climb down, and some are very steep and some are sort of oddly shaped. And as you may notice, tennis balls are something that you may see quite a bit of, but I wonder how many people have had a chance to walk over them. It's sort of fun. We've got marbles in there too, and something soft and something hard. Although although this isn't related specifically to animals as much as the other areas are, it's sure a lot of fun. Hey, hey.
Is this something like a spider web?
Yeah, it's sort of a giant spider web. And one of the favorite stories that I have about this particular exhibit was a time when we had about a 6-year-old boy in here who was standing at another place in the museum saying, "Daddy, Daddy, come here, I want to show you something." And his dad was up on the spider web saying, "Ah, gee, do I have to?" I really like that, because usually it's the other way around. Usually the 6-year-old is up there and not the dad. But it'd be sort of awful to imagine the size of the spider that built a web that looked like that, wouldn't it? Hate to run into him in a dark alley. This is also a good one to pretend that you're a monkey. Monkeys would just go wild on there.
Looks like their spider fell down.
Yeah, a crashing spider there.
The flies are laughing their heads off.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people pretend that this is a ship,
flies
too. Sort of sounds like a ship.
Is this ever broken?
Some of the ropes have come unraveled before, but nothing has ever broken. I mean, it's never been bad enough for anybody to fall down and really smash themselves. It's pretty sturdy, as you can probably see.
What is this? The stoplight in our pictures?
This is an exhibit that I think that everybody has contact with. If you've got something really important that you have to tell your mom and dad, and they say, "Wait a minute, just wait a minute," that's what this exhibit is all about. It shows exactly how long 1 minute or 60 seconds is by having you do all sorts of different things, as you can see, standing on your head or lying down, sitting in a chair, all sorts of things for 1 whole minute. And it's surprising how long a minute is when you're trying to do something like stand on your head for one.
Well, we're talking about time. How long is this open? What are your hours?
Okay, the museum is open from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 5, and Sunday from 1 to 5. And in this upcoming school year, beginning in October, we're also open on Wednesdays, 10 to 5. So no Mondays, no Tuesdays, Wednesday through Sunday, though, we're here.
Okay, where are you located?
Okay, we're in Muncie, Indiana, and our address is 519 South Walnut Street. And that, as I said, is in Muncie.
Here we are again, and today today at this time we're at Once Upon a Time section in the Muncie Children's Museum. Tell me, Sherry, what am I sitting in right now?
We're sitting in a Gandy dancer's cart.
A Gandy dancer?
A Gandy dancer's cart got its name from the fact that if you've ever seen people walk down railroad ties, they sort of hop up and down because the ties are higher than the ground. You look at them way down the rails, and they look like they were dancing. And this is a cart that they would use to take things to repair the tracks to a certain place. It's just got a little gasoline motor, and they carry things like the railroad ties to wherever they needed them. So, Gandy Dancer's Cart, that's why it's called that.
Yes, now, about what year did the Gandy Dancers come out?
I didn't. I hope that you wouldn't ask me that. I would think from looking at it that it's probably around 1930, 35 or so. It's not as old as the other parts of this particular exhibit.
It's probably about 43 years old or something like that, around there.
Yeah, that's a pretty close guess, I would imagine. It's a fairly modern thing, but it's still sort of fun to play in.
Well, This is Carrie Brinson reporting for Kids Alive in the Gandy Dancer for in the Once Upon a Time section of the Muncie Children's Museum.
Good afternoon, this is Andy Turner, and we're in a second part of Once Upon a Time at the Muncie Children's Museum. And this is, looks a lot different from some of the modern cars we have today. What is this kind of car? What's the name of this?
This is an old interstate automobile that was made right here in Muncie in 1915.
Yeah. See, from the license plate over there, were they shipped around to different places, or do you know that?
I'm not sure. I imagine that they did go out from the factory here. The factory wasn't very long-lived. I mean, we still don't have it today. Mm-hmm. But there were a lot of automobile factories that you'd be surprised of in Indiana.
Yeah. Is this car as dependable, do you think, back then when it was brand new as some of the newer cars today?
I would imagine it's probably more dependable, even in its present state. No, because they were very careful. They didn't turn out as many cars, and a lot more work went into each one, or craftsmanship.
Okay.
There's some of today's right now.
Yeah, right. Noisy today's. These were more quieter back then. How do you start this one, with a crank or a key or what?
Yeah, there is a crank on the front, and although we haven't done it yet, it does still run. All of its parts are there.
It just probably needs a little grease and oil and gasoline and stuff. Well, let's go, wait, let me ask this first. How does this fit into your museum? What do you do with this car?
Well, because it is an old car, and if anything went wrong with it, we wouldn't know how to fix it. We can't put people inside of it, so we let people go underneath it. And this is an important part of, if you were driving back in 1915 and something went wrong with your car, chances were very slim you would have a service station right there. You had to just crawl underneath and fix it yourself. So you can get underneath and you can tinker around with the things there and learn what the underside of an old car looks like.
Okay, so why don't we go to the underside of the car right now? Let's find out what's under there. Oops. Roller derby.
Automobile accident there.
Crash. Here we go. Okay. Wow. As you can see under here, they have, let's see, I don't think the camera could see the different colors, but they have little tickets here with colors on them, and they have drive shaft and clutch and things like that. And I guess this all fits into what? Do you have a piece of paper, a diagram or something that the kids go by and memorize this stuff, or what?
Yeah, there is a game that you can play if you want to learn all of the different kinds of, all of the different parts underneath the car. There are little game cards that assign up front, and you can get down under here and do it.
That sounds really neat. From the underside here, there are a lot of things under here that we don't use anymore, and a lot of things in the new cars like power brakes and power steering. Is this a stick shift or is this an automatic? Or they must have had stick.
Yeah, it was a few years before automatic was even thought of, I imagine.
Yeah. How fast do you think this car would go?
We talked to some people who first drove in cars when, you know, about your age, when cars first came. And if you got up to 40 miles an hour, you were really pushing it. You were going pretty fast.
Yeah, maybe as fast as the birds. Thanks a lot. This has been Andy Turner and Once Upon a Time in the Muncie Children's Museum.
I wonder what this is.
I don't know. Heaven knows, right. Heaven can wait, I guess. This is the, let's see, would that be the brake? Yeah, part of the brake line. This has been Andy Turner,
Jason McGee,
Mike LaCroix,
Kirk Humbert,
Mike Rogers, Jeff Pace,
Carrie Brinson,
and Todd Township for Channel 7 at the Muncie Children's Museum.
Bye-bye. Bye.